Okay, hi, and welcome again for another Google Hangout on our Change Day celebration. We have Helen at North Bristol Trust. So we're going to go over to Helen. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Addy. Hi. Welcome, everybody, to our Google Hangout. And why this is different is because we're live streaming straight onto YouTube. And it's fantastic being here today at North Bristol NHS Trust. And I'm joined by three colleagues, and we're going to talk about their Change Day pledge, which was actually, some Change Day pledges are small. This was one heck of a Change Day pledge, because it was about moving premises and moving from old buildings to a whole new hospital site, but doing it in a way that was truly patient-centred. So I'm joined here today by Sarah Leggett, who is a matron in medicine, by Ben Hewlett, who is Assistant General Manager in Medicine, and by Eddie Strong. And Eddie is a volunteer, but he's a move maker. Isn't that cool? So we've had games makers, we've had care makers, and now we have move makers. So what I'll do, I'll start off with Sarah. So tell us a little bit, Sarah, about about how you went through this move and doing it in a very change-centred way.
Yes, certainly. So the move's been on the cards obviously for many years, with a new hospital being built around us on the Southmead site on a daily basis. And then over about the last year, it was actually planning with the teams to move the patients safely from one hospital to another, and then from Frenchley Hospital site to the Southmead site. So we had to move two hospitals into one site over a 2-week period. Throughout, the focus was patient safety, and we had lots of work with the move team in advance of the move, and we had move leads on each ward, and they would take responsibility for ensuring the staff were updated, that they were engaged throughout, looking at how we would safely move patients, looking at equipment. Absolutely everything was covered in the sort of years lead up to the move, and then they would have regular meetings to check that they were able to carry out the work, first of all, on a day-to-day basis as well as business as usual, and make sure that they were achieving the templates that we were being asked to achieve as well. Leading up to the move, it was just having engagement with your teams, being open and honest with them about the move. If you didn't know, you would say, we don't know, but we'll go to someone that does. And just sharing the whole move experience with your team so that everyone felt part of it, owned it, and embraced it. The few weeks leading up to the move were very frantic. I think we all
appreciate that, yeah.
Hours and hours every single day, up to 20, 30-day stretches and things like that. But we all tried to keep a good sense of humour and our sanity, didn't we? The weekend prior to the move, consultants came in, looked at patients to check they were suitable to be moved. We had lots and lots of documentation, again, to check that the patient's journey was safe. And then actually the day of the move, my ward was one of the first wards to move into the new hospital, my first patient to actually go in there. It felt like a celebration. It was a very exciting day. Everything seemed to go like clockwork. It went beautifully, from the portering staff to the marine engineers coming in and putting up the tent to ensure the patients could transfer with privacy and dignity.
Wow.
And from the start, it was all very scheduled, and as I say, it went like clockwork, moving patients, each ward, being moved, decanted to another ward. And the sort of feeling throughout was a great air of excitement, and everyone thoroughly enjoyed the first day. I believe the 2 weeks after that, it was exactly the same sort of feelings.
Yeah.
And then I was also the matron to sign out the last person from the Frenchley site to come over to ensure that they were safe to come over as well.
But do you know what I love about what you've said is, like just doing this in a person-centred way, because often when you have to do like a move, it's like a chore, isn't it? It's like, with all that documentation and paperwork, and you just want to do your core clinical work. But actually, because in a sense, it's like the spirit of Change Day, isn't it? We're doing this with really good values and with a bigger purpose here. So yeah, that sounds fantastic. So Ben, tell us a little bit about the outcome.
Okay, so well, if we go back again, we've actually been looking at how we've changed the ways we've been working, right from the emergency department right the way through the hospital, and that includes patient flow from the ED into the acute assessment unit and onto the wards. And not to mention, forget to mention, the way that our theatres have changed. So some of the way that the theatres have been changing, the way they work. So we've started projects and programmes way back around how all of this change would take place. So that was years ago, and different projects and programmes have come online centred on different areas. And then since moving in, we've obviously been implementing this change, and this is going to be ongoing for the next year probably.
Honestly, if you were sat here and you could like feel this spirit, you'd kind of want to bottle it and give it to the rest of the NHS, and particularly other people that are doing moves. So Eddie, you're a volunteer and you're a move maker. Tell me about being a move maker.
Okay, well, I've started here about 14th of May, just before the move, and we were involved in making sure everything happened. One of the main things was the intensive care patients from Frenchay. They actually borrowed a jumbulance from the RAF. A jumbulance is a lorry. It would take 2 critically ill patients with a support team of 8 people and transfer them.
Wow.
Now, they transferred 24 people from the intensive care at Frenchay to the new hospital, and not one of them deteriorated. Now, that is absolutely amazing. We understand it's never been done in that quantity before. I think the most is about 10 before, but 24 people and not one deteriorated.
Wow.
That is absolutely amazing.
So how many move makers were there?
There are today 100 move makers.
Wow, so all of you volunteers?
All volunteers, okay? We come in on the morning, we meet with our manager, Jill Randall, who's supported by Sue Evans, and we get a debrief.
Yeah.
So we know exactly what's happening, any issues, and then we go to greet the people. Now, you'll understand, people are coming into a brand new hospital, is awe-inspiring, and you look at their faces, they think, crikey. So then you go up to reassure them. We're the meeters and greeters, and we assist to book them in.
Yeah.
We give them directions of where they need to go. If they look a little bit doubtful, we take them there. If they look as though they're a little bit not quite able, because the new hospital is a quarter of an hour walk from one end to the other, we got chairs.
Yeah.
We're wheelchair trained. We put them in a wheelchair, we take them to the gate. There aren't ward numbers, there are gate numbers.
Yeah.
We take them to the gate number, the reception there, and then they take them on. With the instruction that when they're ready to come back, if the reception then would give us a call, we'll go and take them back. We'll take them outside the hospital, to the bus stop, to the taxi, or to where their friends are waiting to take them home. And we all do it with a very professional manner, a smile, and that's what goes a long way. They feel comforted that there's someone there to help them through the journey in the hospital. And we ensure that they then go to where they're needed in time for their appointments. And what I've done recently is an exit poll.
Yeah.
I've actually gone to people as they walk out and say, you know, I helped you book in not very long ago. Is it all okay? Yeah, and they're coming back, so I've been here for an hour, everything's done, I'm more than happy. A lady the other day, she said, I've been here 2 hours. I thought, 2 hours? And she said, but in that time, I've had an endoscopy, and I'm going out. Oh, 2 hours. You wouldn't have known that years ago.
No.
You would have gone into hospital, you would have sat down, and you would have waited and waited.
Yeah.
But the system is now so efficient that they can do this.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Now, the other thing we do is on 6 o'clock on at night, the first few weeks, we would have meetings with the upper management. We would have a list of things that we thought.
So you as a group of move makers are meeting with the senior leadership?
I would, as a representative.
Yeah, so the representatives of them, are meeting with the senior leaders of the organisation,
6 o'clock on an evening, they would be there. Everything I brought up, someone would own.
Yeah.
No slippery shoulders, someone would own. When I go up 24 hours later, it was resolved. If it wasn't resolved, there was a plan and an end date. Now, you don't see that. I've been a project manager for 20 years.
Yeah.
And you see the people with the slippery shoulders. But people here have got a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
They want to make it happen. All the people in the wards all got a can-do attitude. And if they all got that, it will happen.
Yeah.
And what we should say is, without the move makers, the move makers have been absolutely brilliant in making the change or supporting the change into the new build. It's such a huge environment and such a huge change to everybody, staff and patients coming into the organisation, and the move makers certainly helped with the change.
Can I just say that in future, just bear in mind, as a lesson learned, this should be used as a model.
Oh, I think that too. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
Use it as a model.
Yeah.
And please make sure move makers are included in that.
Yeah.
Because as I say, they oil the wheels. you know, from people coming in to going back out, and it makes everything happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're recognised.
So,
and we are volunteers.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. so in terms of like where you go next with this, because obviously you've been through this, like, you know, and I think often when you have something like a move, you're very, very focused on a particular thing. But then, like, how do we kind of keep that spirit, and how do we stop things kind of, you know, deteriorating? And also, I'm just thinking about this, you know, in terms of like Change Day next year, and using in the future, like using Change Day to be a focus for doing things. So what are some of the ways that you're going to kind of keep this spirit, and what are some of the things you might do for Change Day next year?
Yeah, well, I manage quite a few different teams, so my plan is we're meeting from October onwards, and we're going to have this every 6 months, all of my teams, and look at what we learnt from the move and what we would take forward again in the future, because we don't want to lose that enthusiasm at ward levels and with my specialist nurses as well. I think everyone learns from the change, don't they? So I think it's just really taking, I think we all appreciate there have been a few little teething problems, which you're always going to get, but it's taking the positives, as Eddie says, forward and always learning from them, and looking back and reflecting and just realising how well as an organisation, a huge organisation, that we've done to achieve what we have.
Yeah, exactly, because I do the operating theatres. I was speaking to one of the representatives who supplied equipment to the operating theatre.
Yeah.
I spoke to him, I said, what was it like? He said, absolutely amazing. It's so futuristic.
Yeah.
And that was the words he used, it's futuristic. He said, I've never been to an operating theatre in the country that is like this.
Yeah.
And we've got such a wide catchment area of people that come here, and specialities in various things that, you know, this is the place to be. It really is.
You are such a great advert for this organisation, you know.
It's the enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
It's just everyone's bubbling with enthusiasm.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time now. So should we just all kind of say, like, just kind of one sentence each, you know, in terms of sort of like, you know, lessons learned or advice you'd give to other people?
Certainly start planning early.
Yeah.
Wait years before this huge change. And then make sure you record absolutely everything when you're going through that planning, and make sure that we can look forward and look at what changes we need to make next.
And what piece of advice?
I would say engage your teams throughout, and always be open and transparent with them about the change, and always take the positivity forward with them.
Excellent. And Eddie, one piece of advice?
One piece of advice, use this as the model for future.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Take your lessons learned and please involve move makers.
Yeah.
Because it's so important.
Excellent. That's such a great place to end. So, signing out, checking out from North Bristol NHS Trust.
Brilliant. Thanks, Helen. And just as a reminder, as our colleague from North Bristol said, it's important to record and document your pledges and your activities. So if you have pledged for NHS Change 2014 and you haven't already pressed the do on our Change Day website, then please do visit and record your pledge. Thanks, Helen. We're going to continue the celebration. We're going to hear from Jackie now for this Change Day celebration day. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Eddie, you're going to be